Hello and welcome back to the Talos Principle 2. In East 2, we have finished 2 puzzles, and we're going to explore this forest a little more, because I haven't really looked around this area all that much. We came from back here. Was this puzzle 3? Or what was this one again? Or is this 1? No, that's 3, yeah. Maybe the Sphinx thing is somewhere, like, around the puzzles. It might not be inside of the puzzles. It could just be related to, like, the structure of them or something. So maybe I should take a look around number 4 as well. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's much here. And like I said, this area definitely feels a little smaller, which is kind of nice, honestly. Like, it's cluttered, but it doesn't seem that huge overall compared to East 1. Yeah, not much going on there. This, yeah, here we go. Here's something. Hello. What are you? Oh, it's a spark. Okay. Kind of uninteresting, I suppose. We have to. Alright. Well, it was like a diving board. Just back to 4, okay. But I'm assuming I have the spark still. Oh! Yeah, it's Byron again. And there's nowhere else suspicious from here, no? Ah. Whoa! Turn switch on? Oh! It's as simple as that? Hold on. Really? So, like, number 3 does not have a switch, but number 2 just has a switch just on the, like, the number plate? Okay, no, all of them do. Okay, so it's just, like, turn on only the ones that the Sphinx asks for. Okay, well, accidentally found out the Sphinx thing. That's convenient. This was 2, yeah. And I see it's always on the back of, like, where you're expected to see them, I guess. So you have to look around a little in order to see them. So 2, 4, 7, 8. So I guess let's just do that right away. 7, 8 over here. Let's, like, go from this edge. And it always gives you, like, regardless of which ones you do, I assume. I guess we don't technically know that. We need 4 pieces. Maybe it's like 1, 2, 3, 4 give you those pieces. But if we had done, like, 7 or 8 or something, I assume we would just get a 3rd piece for the first bridge. And just, like, any 4 puzzles will let you do the first bridge. Oh, another audio log thing. Is it Stratton again? What's up, man?
We begin with the self,
Yep.
because that is what determines our existence as individuals. But the self
that on the
cannot
map?
exist without that which surrounds it. The citizen lives within the city, and the city lives within the cosmos. So now we must apply the principle we have discovered to the wider world and ask, if man is like a machine, could it be that the universe is similar in nature? And if so, what follows from that fact?
Yeah, so we have 2 out of those, so it is a collective, cumulative thing, collecting those stars. And yeah, this is what I was saying, like, there were still some people grumbling over the compass thing. I'm not looking at the compass, like, I just never look at the compass. It's just there so that if I want to, I can just glance up and see, oh yeah, there's something over here. Or like, oh, is this thing on the map? So yeah, sorry, but I'm gonna keep it on. I really don't think it detracts from the experience at all, because I'm not just looking at the compass all the time. I'm trying to play the game instead. Here's another terminal. I'm gonna hold off on that. I wanna... yeah, see 8. And then we need 7 as well. I'm just kinda gonna gun for that and not look around too much. Yeah, so I guess this way. I looked at the compass. Game ruined. Oh? Is that a Pandora again? Yeah. Another Pandora, and it's the same thing, green, probably from 8, but who knows? It could be from somewhere like down here. It's probably 8. We have, like, lasers and stuff in there as well, so yeah, it's probably that. And 7. Why does this, like, have such a long, like, walk up to it? Yep, alright, that was simple. And here's the lab, I guess. Secret lab. But this one isn't on the compass at all. Or is it like... is this the lab, I guess? But, yeah, like, the entrance isn't. I'm just gonna go and pick up that sprite first. Melville doesn't even want to talk. Okay. But I want to sneeze. I don't know where I'm going. I was sneezing. Where was the Sphinx? Oh, there. It's blinking. Yeah, see? That's where the compass is useful, I suppose. Hooray. Mistress of Riddle. Solve one Sphinx monument.
Leads to another question. The last answer leads to the first question.
Thanks. Yeah, I wouldn't really call that a riddle. Just pull 4 levers. And I guess this might have a little bit of a sneak peek of what the next mechanic is gonna be. That's how sound works.
Looks like you found another lab.
Sure did. Wormholes? Is this for drillers or for, like, space travel?
Wow, that's a lot bigger than I expected.
What were they doing here?
Labbing.
And who are they?
What do we see here? It just changes a red laser to a blue one? And a blue one into a red one, but what about a green laser then? Yeah, no idea what exactly that's gonna mean. And I wonder if you can, like, send multiple through? If you send a red in and then a blue from the other side, does that also get converted? Yeah, it's a tiny sneak peek, but doesn't really tell us that much about how it's gonna work. Alright, let's read, I suppose. Stratton Ideas. A fragment from Stratton's The Origins of Thought, as quoted in a commentary by Simplicius of Cilicia. Oh my god, way to out my terrible sibilance. Stratton, to say that material things are brought into being by ideas is to flatter ourselves, which is an error philosophers are particularly prone to, because it raises those who think above those... It raises those who think above those who do. What? Oh, who act, in that sense. Nicomachus, then what is the truth that does not flatter? That the reverse is true. Ideas are brought into being by matter, and so each man's ideas are shaped by the world that surrounds him, as clay is shaped by its mold. Those who live in mountains fear cold, those who live in deserts fear thirst. The Athenians are shaped by Athens, and the Lacedaemonians by Sparta, and likewise it is for all peoples. 12. But may ideas, if we take each man to be an idea, not by deliberate action alter the shape of the mold, as you put it? To discover a method for accomplishing this is the chief purpose of philosophy, my friend. 12. The newly discovered Heraclean manuscript, likely a lost part of the Baroque collection, contains an additional passage that differentiates between pneuma, the individual mind or spirit, described as an energy arising from matter, and ideas, which are produced by the pneuma as it interacts with the material world. Okay. Some failed to load profiles. Philosophy is useless if it offers no way of changing things. At least Stratton tried and didn't lie to himself. But how can we change the shape of the mold? Stratton never says. Perhaps by demonstrating the fact that other shapes are possible. We can't change it all ourselves, but perhaps we could, like Alexander Drennan, create the conditions for change. Noma Project 3. Great, we got some more fun hex. I assume these are nothing, and it's just like this stuff. And a lot of stuff here. Yep, I'll check that later. What was the error? Cooling systems improved. It's kind of like nothing. Easy to destroy, harder to create, so easy to optimize only one aspect. New lab space carved out, yeah, some like log stuff. And then here, I'll put whatever the hex stuff is saying. Great. And we get a schematic. Oh, no we don't. I downloaded virus.exe. Uh-oh.
The world is a wonderful place. Every day we take another step forward. Every day we come closer to the truth.
Miranda sounds very familiar.
The more I can see the beauty of the universe, the intricate perfection of its mechanisms. I am a machine, and the universe is a machine. Every part of me serves a purpose, or I could not be myself. I could not be Miranda, because that specific person could not exist without those specific parts and their specific functions. In the same way, every part of the universe serves a purpose. I think that is what we were meant to discover here.
Was Miranda like someone... Oh, overload. Experience a data stream overload. Was she from Talos 1 or something? The name is familiar.
You just connected to an extremely powerful data stream. Are you alright?
Beep boop. Yes, I am fine. I think I had a vision.
Yes, you were streaming. We all saw something. You're lucky it didn't fry your motherboard. Please, everyone, let's be careful with these terminals from now on.
Yes, let's all try not to die.
As we interact
More
with all of them.
importantly, who the hell is Miranda?
There's no one by that name in New Jerusalem. I just searched the database.
I kind of don't want to say any of these. It must be one of the people who built this place. Maybe it's a nickname. Your guess is as good as mine. I want to say maybe it's one of the people who built this place, but I guess I'll say that.
A new person. Someone we've never heard of before. Someone born outside the city. We have to find out more.
But where did they come from? And how many people does it take to build something this huge?
Like I said, we need to find out more.
Well, you'll be
Alcatraz
happy
is
to
being
hear that
awfully
I'm about
quiet.
to fix another part of the transport system. Thanks for the files, 1K. I hope they didn't fry your brain.
My brain is perfectly fine. Thank you very much. Yep, nothing else here. But we had some stuff upstairs. Oh boy. Untitled Draft. Saint Eadwald? Oh god, how did you pronounce that again? I know I've seen that name, and it's like some specific pronunciation, right? I couldn't find anything, so Edwald, I guess? Identified the tetramino with the tetragrammaton and the Greek word for God, because to him the mathematical properties of the tetramino reflected God's ability to reshape the world without breaking its laws. Elohim, in his desire to impose meaning on the simulation, which was his primary function as storyteller after all, took Edwald's heretical ideas and integrated them as the sigils of his name. But despite all these layers of obfuscation, there is some kind of truth hidden in all this. The world really is, in a sense, made up of minute parts that can be combined and recombined without breaking the underlying laws. Life's all Tetris, baby. Everything that exists is made of the same fundamental materials, and those materials are brought into existence by the same fundamental functions of reality. And yet, the miracle of existence is that we are not all one, but are in fact radically different and separate. Hexadecimal. New Alexandria. From the Book of Reminiscence and Regret by Eustathius. In the early days of our people, a great deal of responsibility fell on my shoulders. There were few of us then, and though we are stronger and hardier than any human, we are not invincible. The world was an overgrown ruin, and our resources extremely limited. It was a harsh time, but I felt passionate about the work, fired up by the many sacrifices that had brought us here, from the EN team to the people of Gehenna, whose code was part of my personality. Bit by bit, New Jerusalem grew. We had to adapt some of the plans Drennan's team had left behind. I don't think they had expected the simulation to take as long as it did, but it was all working. That's when I made a terrible mistake. Thinking it was a way of safeguarding against disaster, I proposed the creation of a second settlement, New Alexandria. As the location was far from the dam that powers New Jerusalem, I attempted to build a thermal power station that would take advantage of the local gas reservoir. However, I foolishly used geological data from the archives, failing to account for the amount of time that had elapsed. 5 years later, this error led to an accident that leveled the settlement and killed 31 of my fellow citizens. Of all my many regrets, this is the greatest. Eustathius never forgave himself for this mistake. He drifted away, isolated himself from everyone in New Jerusalem. But was it really his fault? Yes, he made a mistake, but why was the entire weight of the New Alexandria colony placed on his shoulders? A simple process of review and discussion could have prevented the entire disaster. Doesn't that mean New Jerusalem as a whole is at fault? He did his best, I feel sorry for him. But the dead remain dead, and that has to be faced. Poor Eustathius. Ethics of extinction. If a species we consider beautiful and remarkable goes extinct, we consider that a great evil. Dolphins, for example. If dolphins go extinct, this seems very familiar. Have we read this in Talos 1 as well? If dolphins go extinct, that's a great loss. If humanity causes dolphins to go extinct, that's a crime. But if Yersinia pestis, the bacterium that causes bubonic plague, goes extinct, is that an equally great loss? If not, why not? To nature, there's no difference. It's all just life forms. Tiny little life forms. The only moral framework that allows us to choose between dolphins and the plague is a human one. What about a species going extinct without anthropogenic factors? Extinction is the norm. If one day dolphins are no longer capable of competing with other species, should we let them go extinct? When the sun finally dies and all life goes extinct, will that be a tragedy? If we can prevent it, should we? If you believe that extinction is acceptable when nature does it, but not when we do it, then you don't actually oppose extinction. You don't believe that dolphins are inherently valuable, that they deserve to live and thrive. You just oppose human control. You oppose our ability and responsibility to choose. And who wrote this? Can't see. Alright. And no comments on that. Alright. There we go. That was a more packed lab than the previous one. What's up?
Hey, 1K.
What do you make of this Miranda?
Going on what little we have, honestly, she reminds me of myself when I'd just been born. I came out from the dam at night.
Man, he glitches out a lot.
Sky
The other ones don't. It's just Byron. Is he breaking apart because he's too old?
Then, an almost ecstatic connection to the sublime. The universe seemed like a miracle. And to exist within it was the greatest possible honor. That view was tempered in time, but I've always tried to hold on to as much of it as I could.
That's all. Anyone else to talk to? Don't see anyone else around, but maybe the others can also talk about Miranda. Oh, social media. The Mystery of Miranda. For anyone who missed it, Byron's expedition has recovered evidence of the existence of another person. Someone not from New Jerusalem. Who could this be? What does this mean? Maybe there's another city out there who says there was only one simulation. Maybe there are thousands of people we've never met. I really hope so. There's only one founder. I hate to agree with Thekla, but all the historical evidence we have points to that conclusion. There were some other attempts, but as far as we know, they all went wrong or failed. There's more that we don't know than there is that we know. That sentence is going to make my brain crash. What? Why? That's pretty simple. Why do we think Miranda's from Earth? There's no evidence to support that idea, but there's no evidence to support that she's not. I'd like to hear more about these other attempts to save humanity. I really don't think it's aliens, Jock. Everything here is obviously related to New Jerusalem. I mean, I think that's true, but I guess I'm just gonna not reply to him and just talk about this instead. Some people affiliated with the Institute for Applied Nomadics tried to set up a secondary site at another dam, but after about a century, the dam collapsed and took whatever was happening inside that system with it. There was also a similar attempt by another organization, but without the test of free will that Alexander Drennan devised. According to L, it never produced a viable mind before it ran out of power. Could there still be others out there? Theoretically, yes, but even our dam would have collapsed without extensive repairs, and even a nuclear power plant would have run out of fuel by now. Yeah, I kind of feel like those were the correct choices, instead of just going like, Jock, you fucking idiot. Oh, why are we on this even though I've heard these ones, but I'm not on the ones that, like, are new? E2 engraving, found on a Sphinx monument on the wooded plateau. Taking a reference photo in case I want to figure this out later. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's handy. So I didn't actually need to, like, run back and look at that. And Prometheus Spark. Prometheus seems to want to help us succeed one way or another. The mythological Prometheus was a trickster, and it seems his holographic equivalent has similar tendencies. These sparks seem designed to allow us to skip puzzles, a function which appears to run counter to whatever intent there is behind this place. Still, the terminals for using them are right there in the puzzles, so Prometheus must have some legitimate authority in all this. Sparks can be recovered by properly solving the puzzles. Yeah, I see. So I heard about this, like, it's not that they just solve the puzzles for you. I mean, it is, but it's like, you just release the sprite or whatever thing, the, like, glowing orb thing from that puzzle, but then you've now spent a spark to do so, and yeah, I guess you can, like, go back in, solve it properly later on, and then get your spark back, and then use it for something else. That's cool. Because, yeah, then, like, if you just run into a puzzle that you can't really solve, but you're like, yeah, I just want to, like, get this done so I can move on and check out this other thing or whatever, you can do that and then come back later. And I'm assuming that would mean that... Oh. I'm assuming if you do that, it would show, like, a different look here, not white and not grey, to show, like, yeah, you haven't actually solved this, go back and try this puzzle later. I hope so. But yeah, I guess we're gonna leave it off there. Again, I'm liking this area so far. I mean, we've only done 2 puzzles, but yeah, again, it feels less overwhelming than the previous one. I feel like we've explored, like, probably half of it at this point or something, but not really sure. And yeah, things are kind of falling into place. New mechanics are interesting. It's also less just, like, mindless running. Like, the previous area was just so big that it just took forever to run from one place to another, basically. So yeah, this one is nice so far. The fog is not, though. Look at those pixels. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time.